Okay, so just I copy the previous class and paste next. Okay, so okay, so today we discuss about I discuss about signals. Okay,
Okay.
so basically signal uh, uh, basic main some concepts are essential concept is required. Just I talk about first essentials part. When we work with Angular after 17, basically this essential part actually up to date after 17. Before that, this essential part actually have not there. So it is a modern part, modern updatations, which is our uh, use as essential. So basically, when we create a component, so every component should have template section selector and styles. These three parts are actually main part of every components. Okay, we already
Okay.
check it before. But when we interactive data, when we want to interactive data in our control in our components, so that time here used some kind of state management system or management dynamic data, create and manage dynamic data. This is the actually new features replacement with app state management. Basically uh, for state data management, dynamic data management are managed by previously RxJS. So this time it's replaced with signals, which is the core library of the Angular framework right now.
Okay.
And signal is actually manage our data, some dynamic process. If we want to use the observe and monitoring our data, so that time we can use the signal basically a kind of intermediator for the data basically. And how it work, I will be discuss it in this session. So basically signal when we set the value, so basically this is the parameter where we can call first name. It is a name object, and we can use the Morgan directly without signal. But if we use it, so basically we can check the value directly uh, without using this bracket. We can do that. But problem is, if we want to monitor this data one component to another component, so that time it cannot carry the data directly if we are not using any signal. But if we use it signal, so that time this signal creates some temporary memory behind the uh, Angular framework. So basically thing is, if our basic data is set at before, then we can check the data like this way, and after that if we want to change the data, so then we can use the method of set, and then we can see the uploaded data. So this is the process of updatations, or here also have some update options are here. Basically update part is if you have previously data already and you want to change something, not everything, change if you want to change something, so that time you can use, we can use update method. So basically these kind of things actually are worked with the signals. So basically signals is the uh, some parts which is basically managing the data. uh, Sometimes it's easy and sometimes it's complex as per understanding things. Basically first thing it is it's give us some flexibilities to managing data entire app, but this time we could not understand it directly because Angular already supports data events. If I clicking any buttons, basically if I clicking buttons and this time without uh, any state management object, we can see our value are changed directly, right?
Okay. Okay.
But basically problem is if we use this kind of things, so this part actually carry the data one component to another component mostly.
Okay.
Basically it is the
Okay.
main purpose of that. And after that some dynamic interface with template. So dynamic interface means basically if we want to update our data, so basically this also dynamic kind of data it's saying basically profile for some this kind of things. And if we want to change the data from somewhere, so then we can get another output with the data. So basically this is the thing which is the updated. But why it is required and how it work, so it's some debatable task. Basically some things are work normally without using signals, and but Angular developer are recommends signals uh, basically because this time when we are creating our apps, so every apps have some dependency which is a zone.js. Zone.js basically thing is it is a third party library, maybe it will be removed later, and if it is removed then our data not updated directly like this. Basically if I use the counter object here, so if we are updating the data like this way, and then we can see the output directly like this. So maybe it's not working if this library is removed from our Angular framework. Okay, basically this framework if removed, then uh, this particular process will not work. So that time uh, this particular signal are helpful for that particular time. Basically they wanted to remove this particular third party this library and this library, these third party libraries they want to remove after some versions later. So basically for that particular purpose they are introducing these signals, because this kind of functions may be not working later.
Okay.
So and also if we want to use some logical syntax like if, for in the HTML template part, so that time we can use this kind of uh, directives. This is also directives, and this at the rate ape or at the rate for, this is the new additions in Angular 17. And so this particular things also working, and sometimes it's working, sometimes it's not working. It's have some bugs internally, but uh, if we use the for data tracking, so of course we need to use this particular uh, track keyword to monitoring the data key, and then we can present our data in internally for the loop. So this is the actually things, and how it work, and how to manage all the things. I will be discuss it after the uh, essential part discussed. So
Okay.
basically, this and uh, one is the component, second is the reactivity with the signals, and templates part, how templates are managing, and fourth part is the dependency injection, which called services. So these
Okay.
four things are actually based on uh, Angular. Basically, these four things actually main core thing is the Angular part mostly. So
Okay.
basically, if we want to managing our data through the another classes, and we want to shift our some task to another class, so that time, if we want to separate that functionalities, that time we can use this particular this type of uh, class, and this class called as a service class. Okay,
Okay.
this class called as a service class, and if we are using the service class, so this is the class when we declared, and when we need to use that class, so that class need to be used like this way, then we can use that class functions internally. So this is the four things which is our most important part when we are working on the Angular. Okay, except that, so many things already here, but these four things main important part of the Angular structure. So let's check out how it work, and how can we manage all the things step by step. Okay, so
Okay.
basically, if we want to design uh, for our application, so do you I think you did not know anything about Bootstrap.
No.
You did not know anything about Bootstrap. So actually thing is, when we worked on UI, any kind of UI, so basically we required some third party UI to better look and feel. So actually we prefer some UI like getbootstrap.com. It's a good library where we can pre-build UI design quickly. Basically, if we want to some pre-build UI like this, and like this kind of UI if we want, so then we can use this particular library. So how can I use this particular library, because it is not Angular's official UI library. Angular's official library is Material, Material. Material UI. Material UI is a not MEUI. Uh, we can go to the official website, and here Angular Material. So this is a official website of Angular, and here if we want to use the Angular Material UI, so this kind of custom component we are getting if we use this particular UI component. But at this moment I did not want to use directly these parts, because you need to learn about the basics of Angular parts. So for that particular purpose, want to uh, introduce you Bootstrap. Uh, it is a HTML CSS library or framework, what you can say. So basically, this is the actually kind of third-party library which can be integrated in our Angular project. Okay.
Okay.
So how can do it with this project? Basically, if we want to integrate it our project, so main things, this particular project actually we can start with just this first line of this code. So basically just copy no, sorry, no, not here. uh, I think it will be better because actually this time in this dependency or everything is compiled by third party uh, build tool, and this build tool are based on currently byte engine. So we did not require to configure too much here. Just we need to import it in our UI. So basically thing is I just need to use this particular command. So I just copy the command when we want to add the bootstrap. Add bootstrap UI in our Angular NGU Angular framework. This is the code which is required first. So we need to terminate our terminal first, and then we can apply it under this project. And once it attached, and now we can see bootstrap is adding here. Okay, bootstrap and popper.js slash core, this two library is attaching. Okay,
Okay.
and now once it attached, then we need to add the bootstrap dependency into the styles.css in this section. So now we need to add the styles. So impo sorry, and this time we need to use import import. And if we are use import, so after this after this we need to use, oh sorry, not from here actually, don't require to import from here directly. Actually we need to set up the css library, because once we are create, so angular.json, this is the main file, and here we can use the bootstrap main css, that means node module bootstrap main css. So bootstrap main css, basically go to the node modules folder, and then searching bootstrap folder, and here is the dist folder. After the dist folder we can see bootstrap main css, this particular file actually linked here. Okay,
Okay.
so this particular file links are linked here, but also we require another file links that means JS file links. So if we want to JS file links, so we need to add scripts, and then we need to use node modules modules slash bootstrap. So basically same things we can copy from here, and it not be bootstrap, it will be JS file. And once it is JS file, and after JS file we can see bootstrap bootstrap.bundle.min.js. These two files need to be linked for using our UI setup, because this time this CSS and JS need to be linked with our application structure.
Okay.
And once it is attached, after then we can start our framework.
Okay.
And once it is already applied, then we can see our text format are changed, right?
Yeah.
And now we need to set some extra UI, like if we want to use the top bar like this, if we want, so then we can use go to the navbar section. So here is the components option, and this is the navbar, and in this navbar we just copy the code, and we can paste this code inside the component in the header section. So just go to the part and just paste the code here directly inside the header part. Okay, so
Okay.
basically if we are using this, so here we can also use as header tag like this, if we want. Actually it is not important too much, but we can use it for header and footer UI purpose. So just I copy the code and paste here, and after pasting this code you can see this menu bar is coming here. Okay,
Okay.
but basically this time you can see we are see it dark mode. Basically this is the dark mode, and it is based on my system mode uh, currently is in dark mode, and this is actually observed now, and then our UI converted into dark mode. So if we want to get this kind of mode automatically, then we can go to the color mode section. So basically this is the first part, then a customize section, and in the customize section we need to go the color mode section, and go to this color mode. Under color mode we need to enable the dark mode if you want. So then just scroll down um, below of this page, and we just need to copy only this javascript file. So just copy the code, copy this javascript code directly, and we need to create a in the public folder we need to create a no, actually public folder does not require. I just create another folder inside the source folder, maybe it's okay. So basically I just use another folder name assets assets, and in this
Okay.
assets folder we can create uh, mode.js file, and just I paste here the code. Okay, and once I just paste this code, then we need to add this code inside the angular.json file, and go to there, and just we can use this particular folder. So basically under this folder we can see source and assets, then nodejs, mode.js. So
Okay.
basically src slash assets assets and slash mode dot js file. This file actually need to be used. If we want to put it in js folder, so we can use directly js folder here. And if we want to image any third-party images, if we want to use those, then we can create a images folder here also. So basically this time I just put the js folder under the this js file under the js folder, and here we need to add the js file under this. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
if I use it, then we cannot see any changes directly, because uh, this file are actually uh, attached with the angular.json, but we need to recompile it. So for that particular purpose we need to be terminate the command line first, and then start once again. And if we
Okay.
terminate the command line and then start again, then dark mode is applicable.
Okay.
Then we can see the dark mode enabled now. So this is the
Okay.
process of dark mode enabling, which is the depends on our system theme mode. If it
Okay.
is, if your system is not dark mode is enabled, then you can see only white color mode.
Okay.
So here we can set some configurations. So basically here is some container and container fluid. Container means it will be centralized of on the page, and rest of the section will be free, will be blank. Because it looks better, because always we want to see our website like page structure. So if we want to see our website as page structure, then this structure is good, but this
Okay.
structure not so good if we are see the lines like this way. So
Okay.
basically after using this, we can set our pages like after using this okay, these app menus. So basically if we want to app menus, so basically we don't put it in the header section. I just put it
Okay.
into the menu section, then it will be better. So basically inside the menu section I just paste the code in the menu section, and after menu section we can use the page name like this. Page first link is home, second link can be copy multiple times. This second link can be copy for multiple times for about URL, and it can be changed with the contact, and label will be about and contact. And after then here I have some drop down menu, but now here we can see the about page and contact page, and also we can see home page. Okay,
Okay.
everything is see in the page, but
Yes.
once it is doing, and after creating this we can set our another div class container, because this time we need to be set up all the pages content, all pages content will be inside the uh, container.
Okay.
We need to see the all the data inside the container. So now we can see all the data inside the container. Okay,
Okay.
and now we can see every data is showing this section.
Okay.
Good. So this is the basically UI part. But why I am using this UI part? Basically, if we are creating any web application, so UI part is most important things. Okay, because
Okay.
without UI, knowledge, front end knowledge, not uh, working for you properly. So
Yeah.
basically, you have basic knowledge on HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Also, Bootstrap is required. It is the
Okay.
essential knowledge for front end development. Without this, you can't if you understand about Angular well, but you cannot managing your application properly, because uh, sometimes as backend developer you may understand the components architecture, you may understand about the services architecture, you may know about so many things in the Angular functionalities. But if you don't have good knowledge on uh, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and if you get some bugs, then you don't manage that quickly. You
Okay.
cannot solve that problem, because this is the very basic buttons. But we need to see it, see this button looks better. How can do that? If we want to see this button looks better, so how can do that? How can do that?
Is it about style or?
Of course a style, but this style, this time we are not writing any kind of CSS directly. Already we applied third party library Bootstrap. So Bootstrap have so many styles already here, and now I just using some button style. So this is the button style. So this kind of buttons is looks better, right?
Yes.
So I want to use this kind of buttons UI with the class name. So basically we already had some class, we had some buttons previously. So just we
Yeah.
want to write here class button primary, and uh, we can use button primary both of there. But after using this, we can see the buttons look like this. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
But if we want to group it, these buttons, so div class button group, and then we can use it as div like this. Okay, so that means basically this button in a group format. So basically it will look better sometime.
Okay.
This things are does not required exactly. So now it looks better, right?
Yeah.
So UI almost same, but if we are using some extra UI, then it looks better very much.
Okay.
Here also given so much so many UI, but it have some advanced parts. So for that particular purpose, I'm not using this particular UIs directly at this moment, because if I use this UIs directly, so you can't not understand how we can made components and when and for what.
Okay.
It is not possible to understand if I use it directly.
Okay.
So basically, when we are using this kind of third party UI library, so basically here is the card, and this is the card UI design. Okay, this is
Okay.
the design. We want to use it multiple times in our page when we need it.
Okay.
So this is
Okay.
a basic simple card, and this is the card body or card structure. So this card body just I copy from here, and now I just create another component under the component. Just I want to create name card.ts file. Okay, and
Okay.
obviously here I just use the uh, export class card. Okay, so if I use it export class card, but when I use it, then I must write it as component and decorator before it, because without using this component we cannot apply the card data directly.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the things which can be used a card component like this. Oh, sorry. And this card component have two data fields. One is the title data field, so this is the title, and another is the description. Okay, so this
Okay.
particular things actually comes from the uh, automatically written. I did not copy this code. I
Okay.
just get this code by AI, basically.
Okay.
Here I am using some AI called Windsurf, and this
Okay.
Windsurf plugins you can be download from the extension section. Wind
Okay.
Windsurf. So this Windsurf plugins I am using, and once you
Okay.
are using these plugins in your VS Code, after that after that you need to be login in Windsurf with your email ID, because
Okay.
without creating your account you cannot use this Windsurf AI directly. Also I have another options like Google CLI, Google CLI, sorry, Google, not Google CLI, Gemini CLI. That is also another library which are supporting with the AI.
Okay.
And this actually help us to write our data which is required fast.
Okay.
So once I written this syntax, once I written this class, and this class can be used directly, but here is some catch. Here we are using the title and description in the with the expression syntax. So this curly brace called as expression syntax. This expression syntax are by this data variables are binded with this particular fields. So of
Okay.
course if we are using this data fields, so we must be use the data fields with the uh, data with some inputs data. So this time we
Okay.
did not have any input data. We did not. If we want to use this actually, if we want to use this card in our UI, so go to the our home page, go to the home page, and now I want to use it app card here. Okay, so this is the basic things we want to use app card. So what
Okay.
is how can see it in the output? Now after using this, it said what is the problem here? Can you say me what things is problem here?
It's not imported.
Yes, actually am not import the card class into the TS file. So now I need to import this card class in this section. But when I import, so this card section is visible, but here does not have any data, right?
Yeah.
Because if I want to set some value like this, uh, my card, so then we cannot see any value, right?
Yeah.
So if we want to see the value, so last time we are used the value with the input decorator function, right? Last time we are use the input value with the input decorator.
Yeah.
Here we are used before, right? Remember you? You
Yes. Yeah.
okay? So this particular value we are actually used before, but now this time I just using it something different with this part. Now this card wide, actually this card wide only 18 pixel or 18 rm, but I don't want to see like this, so just I remove it, and wide will be 100% is better. 100% is better. So basically it will be 100%. How many size are visible? So this is the 100% of the wide. And now I want to use another options to check the data. So here I just use input function.
Okay.
So this is the input function. Last time we are using the input decorator function, but this time we are using input function. But
Okay.
this input function, when we are using this input function, when I am using, it's said input function, but when I use input function using, so there we can use initial input value, and we can use it as a required, set as a input required. So we can do it both of things. So if we are using it as input and input dot required, then it must be required data when we creating the components. But
Okay.
thing is, when I use this input value kind of this way, then it will be set as a sorry, this particular functions return the data as signal. So basically
Okay.
this time this data types is not matching, so for that particular purpose it's showing problem. So
Okay.
I need to remove it first, and after that we need to be set it the part. But here we can use the basic um, uh, name as card title, and also we can use it here input I input input card description here. So these two things are actually I'm used here, but when I use it here, so how it work? So we just see input signal my card, input signal my description.
Okay.
Is it look good? Is it
No.
looks good? No,
No.
because we need only my card data, we need only my description data. So basically when I use it, this input function, and also we can typecast the data like this. We can typecast our data like this. And that means here only supports string data types only. But when I use this, so these data types are written input signal. So we already seen before, if we are using the signal data, so basically this is the initial value where we are put initiate the signal. But this time we can get that signal value dynamically, so that time we need to be use it like this way. So if I use this particular function like this, then we can see the data properly.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the way of using of signal. So basically we can write it also with signal also. Basically if I want to use signa signal like this, and same things, if I use signal and if we are using input, almost same, but both purpose are different. Signal actually using for and data handling purpose for uh, some other component, but it's actually mainly used for data input part will be handled internally in the
Okay.
Angular part. So basically when I use here, so we can see here I use card title, but when I see here data my card, why? because because in the home.html I use the title my title, right?
Okay. Okay.
So for this particular purpose we can use my title. But another
Okay.
things I want to discuss with you here, have another things like card description we can see directly, but if we want to use this particular card component with the some other contents like this, multiple contents I want to write here, and also I want to use some button for button. So this multiple things actually I want to use, so that things not visible here, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how it possible to see this data under this custom component, under this custom component, how it possible? If we required the data to write under this component, because we have already some kind of UI before, but under that component we want to uh, give some data mm, here into our uh, parent section or client section, and there we can, that data will be visible with our UI. How it
Okay.
possible? So if we need this kind of data setup is required in our component, so that time we need to use some extra Angular elements, and this particular process called content projections. This particular things called content projections. So content projections comes from this component section, and here we can see content projections with ng content. Okay, so this is the part with the content projections. So if we want to see the data, so we want to see this data, so how can do that? We just wrap this ng content like this, and this particular description area actually I put it under this content section. Okay, if I put it under this content section, now we can see all the content which are written in the home section, that is showing in our current UI, right? Hello.
Yeah. Yeah. Yes. I'm here.
Okay, so what things are did here? Basically, this is our component where I am using the card options, and after that card we can see some multiple uh, under child content. So basically, this is child content we are written inside the custom card.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we can use our another div class. So basically I want to use some div class called row, and under this row I just want to use div class col column, and after that I want to see this particular content part under this section. Why I did it? So I just, why I did it, if we can see, and then okay. So right now we want to see only two data inside the column. So this time we are actually arrange our uh, page with the two columns. Basically this is the first column and this is the second column. So if we want to set columns, so we must be set as a row first, then inside that we can use column class, that means call class, uh, and this both are classes comes from the this both class comes from the where this both class comes from the Bootstrap.
Bootstrap. Okay.
Okay, so basically this is the part of Bootstrap, and if we want to use it as dynamically as app row, app column, if we want to use like component, so after this we can use also row dot ts like this, and export class row, and now uh, inside this part we just directly calling compone and component, and like this app row and template, and it is the template. Okay, and styles does not required. So this is the app row. Okay, and once I want to use this, so inside this part does not require anything, just I replace with it app row. So basically I just replace in this with app row, and even when I use it app row, so must be we import this row uh, component inside the home component, and after using this we can see the output except
Okay.
this. So basically this is our custom made component. So basically why I'm not using material design, so basically this kind of UI we can be seen in under the material UI, uh, which we can use, which can see in the section here. We can you can see matte toggle, matte slide toggle. Could you
Okay.
understand? So this is actually custom component which we are currently building, which
Okay.
we are currently building components. So this is the same things are written by um, material UI, material components. So here have so many components, and this is the components showing like this. But when we are using these components, so these components looks like this way. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
so this is the actually things which can be used, and here I have another way to see. This is the this is one option, and another option is here. Like if we want to same things want to do, so just I copy this component part and paste it for column, so means call, and we can change it call and call call. Okay, so after using this we can use we can replace it with the call also. Okay, and once I written here, sorry, we need to save it, and after written this we can use it multiple times. And now um, okay, what happening here? Basically, if we are using app call directly, so this time we are not seeing it's side by side. It's showing,
Yeah.
it's showing, uh, it's showing actually, it is showing actually top to bottom. So that means main problem is when I use the row section, that is okay, row section is okay, but column section, these column sections are not actually going side by side, because actually this column, this call section not directly are converted with the uh, class name. Basically it's not using class name directly here. So if we want to use this kind of things, so we must need to use class call, maybe is required here. I just check it. Yes. So basically this call part is not working exactly. So for that purpose we did not uh, have to use for it. I remove this call class because this call class does not require.
Okay.
Okay. So once we return in the class like this, and after that here if we are using my sorry description description, and here we can use my card description. My card description. So here we can see my everywhere is card description, but here I just using my card description.
Okay.
But if I use some extra element like this hello, then it will be removed.
Okay.
So this is the things which can be reusable uh, card can be used like this way.
Okay.
Okay. And another things is required for menu section. We are actually added the router link before, so uh, they recommended it uh, actually this href link replace with the router link.
Okay.
ROUTR router link, and here also same things ROUTR router link here.
Okay.
So now when I used it, then this page does not be reloaded, but page data will be changed quickly. But once I written here, so this particular app sections, I never want to use the this particular section. I remove it, and also remove that title data from here also. So this time here we can see also signal property here, but this signal property I will be discuss it later, how it work exactly.
Okay.
But I also talk about some thing in this section, input as a signal, and when I use the signal property, so then we can set the data like this way.
Okay.
Okay, so once I create it in the page, and now we need to check out another things in here, signals, and in this signal section, what is the signal, and it is the wrapper notifies interested consumer. So basically it is this signal actually are worked on as per events, but basically thing is this particular signal can be used as a wrapper of the UI. So
Okay.
but how it works, for that particular purpose we need to use some dependencies first, and then we can be use it very well. So basically this is the basic understanding what is the signal and how it can work, but mm, if we want to see all the data and all the processes, then here I have some processes are given here, how signal works, but this is only used as a single page object. It's work as a single component object. So I discuss it later, because this signal parts, if I discuss, so here have so many things are they discussed, but without any uh, extra reference you could not understand about these signals directly.
Okay.
Basically I could not explain it with this syntax says, because if
Okay.
I syntaxes line by line syntaxes I explained, but you could not understand, oh, why it is work, oh, why it is here, and how it work. We could not
Okay.
you could not understand. So then for this particular purpose I not discuss it too much for this section, because these particular parts are depends on dependency injections and HTTP clients, because when we consume the data from APIs or any services class, then we can manage the signals very effectively. Otherwise
Okay.
this is only just a code, otherwise it does not have any meanings at this moment. Component lifecycle. It is sometimes important when we are working with some when you work with Angular. So this component lifecycle is uh, sometimes is important. So here I have 7 types uh, of life cycle methods are available, and every life cycle methods have some importance for users when we are using mostly third party services or third party APIs if you worked. So basically constructor is basically used for creational when any JavaScript functions, JavaScript class are initiated. So that time this constructor calling initially. And after that, second phase is change detection. So first thing is creation, second thing is change detection. Change detection basically thing is when UI are presenting. Basically first thing, uh, class are created, and when class are creating, and after that UI are building after that phase. So basically thing is, first we can see the creation phase, second phase is the change detection phase, and in the change detection phase have 7 parts: 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 parts here. And first hooks first function call is on it. Basically it's almost same like constructor. Basically when our component are initiated, so this ng on it function are work before for every functions. If we change any value under this component, then we can get then these functions are activated. If we want to if value are changes, then do check are actually used for data validations. And ng after content init, basically when our data is generated, then actually not generated when data will be generated, that time this content init function uh, are uh, are calling. And then if already content is generated, then it is checked, actually post content render. And it has this is the actually part of content view part after view init. Basically when view already content is generated, then view actually initialized. So that time we can and see it. Basically this content part actually comes with the API phase. Basically this part are actually API phase. If data is coming from the API, so that time this particular things are initiated. And if data already coming to our component, then this function are called internally, and after that this function will be called, and then this function. And also this render part are actually worked on when we shift our pages. So that time these particular things are worked. And uh, ng destruction basically worked on when we leave the component page. Basically when we leave the component page, so that time this ng destructor are worked. Okay, so this is the actually 11 parts mostly. These 11 methods are have in Angular component, and this is actually called a lifecycle hook. And sometimes some properties are required to observe the value and observe the changes. Everything not working properly, but most of the times ng ng on init, ng on change, ng on change, and ng on destroy. These four, three or four parts I majorly used in my projects. But
Okay.
except that, uh, uh, not so much usable. Basically, this effects not be visible proper way most of the
Okay.
times. But ng constructor, ng init, ng on change, these three parts are mostly I worked, and ng on destructor destroy, it's also working when we leave our component pages and want to remove some data from the dynamic value options, then we can use that. Okay, so here I have some samples or examples you can see here. Okay.
Yeah.
I did not talk about this particular topics because this is very high level topics, and at this moment you could not understand, and I also explained with you, then it is not understandable because it is very high level concepts.
Okay.
So your task will be from the next class. You just let understand and read about the template section, everything. This is the
Okay.
template section, Angular template section. You read it, reading, and also you can read about the directives. These two things are most important into the component section. And also, if you can, then you can also learn about the dependency injection. And in the next class, we will be talk about these three things.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, can we summarize today's class?
Yes, please.
Okay. So today we will discuss about. Today I will. Sorry. Today today I discuss about the Angular basic, Angular essential part which is required, and which is actually based on the Angular structure. Uh, Components, signals, templates, and dependency injection. These four things are actually main basics of the Angular components. Sorry, Angular framework. And after that, we set the Bootstrap UI in our Angular project. And how can I set this project? When I set the project, so go to the byte section after opening the get bootstrap sites, and just I copy only this line, line number 3, not 1 2 or does not record, only line number 3. Line number 4 maybe sometime uses, but this time we don't record it. So these two things actually I am using here. Line number 3, line number 3 process are required, and once it is required, then I set up this that UI dependencies into the angular.json file. Angular.json file, we are attached the uh, UI dependencies, and once I set the UI dependencies, then I set the color mode under the color mode section, and go to the scroll in this page little bit, and in the downside I just copy that this code without knowing what is written here, does not required actually. Just copy it and paste it in the project structure inside the assets folder under the js folder. I just
Okay.
create a folder mode.js, whatever you can whatever you give any name, you can give any name whatever you want, and after that you can use that particular file under this bootstrap dependency. And once you use all the dependency, then you need to be restart your development server, because after using all the dependencies, this particular application need to be re-rendered, because when it rendered, then this angular.json sorry, this dot angular file are created, because this angular file have every kind of dependencies have to see. Basically you already seen byte framework are working internally. So this byte framework need to render everything under this section, and once it render properly, once it render, then then our application will be night mode enable, and then we create a cart component, we create navigation component first, and then we create the cart component. And how our component projections are work, so these particular things are seen from the component section. So you check out the components, and you also create these things by yourself.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so let's today